All right, hello. Hi, Ben Davis, Kelly K, at Ben and Kelly Show on social media. Got a message from, quote, Paula.
Yeah, Paula is needing a little help figuring this out. Hey, Ben and Kelly, first of all, I'm a big fan of your show, and honestly, I don't want to ask anyone else because I'm kind of embarrassed and worried about what's been happening in my life.
All right. This is a safe space.
Exactly. My husband, we'll call him Wade, in quotes.
All right.
We went to a convenience store near our home that we frequent regularly. A new employee, a pretty, much younger girl, stared at Wade with an expression of recognition and surprise on her face. When I asked him what that was about, he laughed it off and said I was imagining things. The next time we saw her, Wade acted nervous and started talking fast as if trying to distract me. The third time, she again ignored me but smirked and giggled while we were checking out. Then she shouted, "See you later," to my husband as we were walking out the door. When I turned, I caught Wade glaring at her. So when I asked why he did it, he replied, I looked at her like that because she was acting like an idiot.
Oh.
When I asked why she would be acting like an idiot if they didn't know each other, he started yelling at me.
Oh.
He called me crazy and threatened to leave if I brought the subject up again. He doesn't normally fly off the handle like that. So what should I do? Thanks. And again, appreciate everything.
Well, that sounds like a guilty person.
Yeah, all of that. Like, Paula's spidey senses are going off for a reason because that's all weird. Like, initially, sounds like it was pretty obvious, like, oh, I've met her before, and she's met him, and they had some sort of an encounter to where it's embarrassing that they're seeing each other when he's with his wife.
Right, exactly. That's the part where it's a thing where, sure, it's normal to walk in and to recognize someone. Oh, hey, I saw you, I recognized you, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But then to have that sort of reaction is where I just feel the guilty party is.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost as if maybe Cashier didn't know he was married and was shocked to see, he's with a wife. And then maybe that might explain the weirdness on like the third encounter, like she's salty about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was almost like she was like, don't ignore me. And, well, I'm going to make this awkward because you already have.
Right.
And
maybe you haven't been truthful with me or whatever. I'm just making assumptions.
Yeah. All right. Well, what is your thought on this? Because, immediately my first reaction is that, well, he's guilty. But what do you do with it? Because obviously he freaks out if she brings it up.
Yeah, because if he wasn't guilty of anything, if there was nothing to hide, he'd be like, babe, it's not a thing. Like, I don't know her. I don't know why she's weird. We can go to another store if you want. But instead, he got angry, which means that there is something to hide.
Yeah, and threatened to leave, whatever that means. Leave what? Leave the relationship? Leave the area? What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Okay. All right, 502-795-1997. Would love to hear your story about this, or if you want to chime in, that'd be great too. Diving into the DMs here on 99.7 DJX. Boy, do we have someone who may be guilty. Paula's husband, Wade, not their real names, was acting all sorts of weird around this new, young, attractive employee at a convenience store that's close to their house. She acted like she knew him. He acted like he didn't want anything to do with her. And
they had like kind of three awkward interactions.
Yes.
And then finally, when Paul is like confronting him about it, he gets like mad and says, like, starts yelling at her, called her crazy, threatened to leave if she brought it up again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of telling us all, like, something happened. Like, he's hiding something.
Yeah. So there's a text that was like, yeah, sounds like he's been saying he's going to leave the wife for her, and the "see you later" was code for "you tell her or I will."
Oh,
now,
oh yes, maybe.
Now, listen, this is bad, but it's not. It may not be just cheating, in the sense that there are several listeners that are reaching out saying, well, maybe she's like an exotic dancer. And he has.
And that's her day job?
Yeah, and her day job's at a convenience store, and her night job is exotic dancing, and maybe her husband has been in there several times.
He is a customer.
Right,
okay,
exactly.
I got it.
But
Mandy.
But I feel like also, now look, I don't frequent those sorts of places, but I do understand the code of ethics that exotic dancers wouldn't necessarily just call someone out that they see, right?
No, exactly. Like, she might get a little look, but that's about it. I would think most of them know they're not supposed to act weird if they see them outside the club, especially if they're with wives.
Yeah, because
that's probably part of the employee handbook at the club, right?
I would imagine when you get a job as an exotic dancer, part of the handbook is, listen, what happens in here stays in here. And when you see the patrons with their spouses or significant others outside of this establishment, we don't acknowledge it.
Exactly. Mandy says, as someone who was once in an emotionally abusive relationship, the way he threatened you, that he was going to leave you if you brought up speaking about something, that's a huge red flag. And I think you need to think seriously about exiting this relationship.
Yeah, a lot of people are using and throwing around the term gaslighting, obviously making her feel like she's the one who's wrong or crazy for thinking that there's something happening. Yeah, Kimberly says, look, she needs to catch him doing something, because he will deny, make her feel like she's crazy for thinking that. And then another person's just like, hey, I would go over to the convenience store without him.
Oh, yes, and just talk to the cashier and
be like, hey,
I kind of noticed that maybe you had some sort of little interaction with my husband that seems a little out of the ordinary than just like a cashier, a customer kind of a relationship. Just wanted to know, have you guys met? And just kind of go at it like that. That's probably the best way to do it, because he's already shut down her ever bringing it up again, because he says he'll leave if she does.
Oh, and can I get a pack of gum and a lottery ticket, please?
Are you hooking up with my husband? And also, I will have some gum, and yes, give me the lottery ticket. That'd be great.
Right, exactly. Kelly from Crescent Hill says, oh, and Ben knows way too much about strip clubs. Listen, I went there once for my bachelor party, which was actually, that almost undid everything, because my wife was like, she told my best man, she was like, listen, take him anywhere, just don't take him to an exotic club, a strip club.
Oh, he violated the one rule in taking you there?
Yes, he violated the one rule, and so, what am I?
That's not great.
So anyway,
you're just the innocent bystander, right?
I was the innocent bystander.
Right. You weren't in charge?
I don't frequent those places.
Okay.
Kelly from Crescent Hill. All right, so anyways, basically getting down to brass tacks here, I like the idea of going back to the convenience store, as weird as it may be to confront that person, just to say, hey, hi, I was here the other day and you seem to know my husband.
Yeah, so
where do you know
him? Yeah, exactly. And then go from there. And
you
can judge by her reaction. Because but I do agree with the fact that it's very problematic that he is refusing to allow her.
Yeah, that's weird.
To bring that up again. And the fact that he's not even acknowledging that there is a weird interaction that's not typically normal with cashiers and people that go into their store.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, hey, I know you are embarrassed by this, Paula. Don't be. It's happened to a ton of people who have just a ton of people who are just texting and reaching out to us right now. Are just like, hey, I've been there. I understand. So
yes, and there are you are right to be concerned about it, and it's also a much bigger deal, the fact that he is not allowing you to talk about it at all, and he's shutting that down. That's a big problem too. So you need to get to the bottom of why he is so adamant that, with his reaction to everything, he should understand like how it looks, and the fact he's not even acknowledging that is a problem.
Good luck, Paula. I know that's tough, and we don't mean to make fun or anything like that of the situation, but
that's not what you want to hear, for sure. I know.
No, I know. So good luck. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Keep us posted.